Hey, what's up, guys? It is Rapmark here. So, doing some more backlog Super Mario Brothers movie. So, this is this is a movie that I was looking forward to. I The trailers looked absolutely amazing. All the stuff they showed in there looked great. Obviously Chris Pratt voice was questionable. Um, but whatever. So what did I ultimately think of this? This was a movie that I really wanted to enjoy, and to be honest, I'm glad I saw this second time because when I saw it the first time, I did have a good time watching this movie. Uh, I was also partially intoxicated, so that may have had a factor in it. And I was kind of riding the nostalgia, you know, neuro- um, nostalgia, just fan brain essentially. I saw it a second time, and I'm really glad I did because, man, this movie, I think there's a potential for people to like this movie. It is fun. Visually, it is amazing. Like the different worlds, uh, the character models. Like this is a beautiful looking movie. The visuals have nothing to do with it. It's probably the best part of this movie. Um, but man, like when I actually went into it, like with critical thinking brain and stuff like that. Uh, Man, the story was not good. The chemistry between characters was like shoddy at best. Um, and man, there was a lot of stuff that just did not work for me, and it really wasn't funny. Another thing I just was really puzzled about this movie was the music choice. Like it was great when you heard the original tracks, um, and stuff like this. But then like there's a point where you go to like Donkey Kong World, and you're thinking Welcome to the Jungle, and instead it's like Take Me On, and I'm just, what is this? There was a lot of like super like 80s and like 90s film or 90s music in this, and I'm just like, this is why would you do this? It just seemed very out of place. um and again, the characters. So again, let's start off with obviously Chris Pratt. Again, after a while, I'm just like, it's fine. It's not the greatest, but I'm not going to deduct any points on that. It was fine. Same with Charlie Day, and from what I've read, because again, this was the second viewing I did of it. They did want to have a stronger accent, but then they were just like, "Oh no, Mario sounds too much like the Soprano," and Charlie Day sounds too much like what the heck was the movie? It was Goodfellas, is what they said. I'm just like, whatever. Jack Black I loved as Bowser. The first scene, an amazing scene, probably one of the best scenes of the movie. Great, and you saw it in the trailer, obviously. Um, and then it just turned weird with his obsession with Peach, and like, I mean, okay, give him a story of why, but then it didn't matter because Peach wasn't the one captured. It was Luigi, and that was another big mistake they made. Like one of the best parts in terms of chemistry were Mario and Luigi being brothers, and that was really good. It was done really well. And then I think it was a huge, huge mistake to separate them because, man, I didn't get any sort of chemistry with like Mario and Peach. The whole Bowser being obsessed with Peach and love, like everyone knows the whole Peaches song. It's just like, okay, yeah, whatever. um, but yeah, it's just like zero chemistry. And then yeah, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, I was just like, it didn't work for me. That was something I will deduct on because Seth Rogen, and it just didn't feel like Donkey Kong, to be honest. And uh, like the chemistry between Mario and Donkey Kong, it was stupid. You didn't really feel anything. And then Peach is just like, I felt like they kind of Mary sued her essentially, because she's badass. She's the queen. She didn't have to. She's amazing at everything. She could literally win this war by herself or whatever. But no, she she doesn't get captured. Like she gets captured once. We'll get into that in spoilers, but I mean that's the whole Super Mario's thing. Is Mario is trying to catch Peach in from Bowser, and they don't do that here, and it just feels super bizarre. And I don't know if again Mario and Peach had some chemistry, it might have worked, but you just don't get any of that there. And like there are Easter eggs there where I'm just like, I see what you did there. There, yep. You know what I mean? A movie chock full of like Easter eggs. But I mean, besides that, it wasn't even that funny. It was, it just seemed very bland, like very by the numbers. Again, starting with again, instead of voice actors, just losing my headphones there. They get, celebrity things. And I mean, I get that in terms of some of the characters, but I mean, some like Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong just did not work at all. I think they could have done better than Chris Pratt, but I mean, he wasn't as bad as I initially thought with the first trailer. Um, Jack Black was great. I mean, his whole Peaches thing was the whole Tenacious D. That was its own thing. I mean, he's if you like his music, yeah, he was great. But otherwise, it just didn't seem like he had enough to do. Like his whole purpose in this film is, it just seems stupid and convoluted, and it just made him seem like a dumber, lamer character than what he actually is in like the video games. To be completely honest, at least that's how I felt about it. And then again, the visuals are great. Like all these worlds, you like see all the. It's amazing. Like they did a great job when it came to the animation, to the models. But again, the way the story was written, you're going through things at a million miles an hour, and you don't get time to embrace any of it, is the problem. And that really sucks, because I think there's so much that they could have done with, like, in terms of the writing. And I don't know how many scripts they went through or whatnot, but honestly, I just think the script was not that great. It was not well written. And again, people will be just like, hey, it's meant for kids and stuff like that. And counter to that, I'll say is, so was the Sonic movie. And I felt way more heart in that. Like, I didn't get any sort of heart in this. That being said, again, I don't feel it was bad. I just felt it was very by the numbers, flat. It just didn't hit. Besides the Easter eggs, it didn't really hit with any sort of emotional resonance. And then Mario, like, again, we know how Mario's in the games, and it's just like in this one, it's just, besides like his whole chemistry with Luigi, being brothers, but then being separated, which, why do that? And then I read into it, and it's just like they thought it would be too, like, on the nose or something like that. I'm not going to go verbatim, but like they thought it would be too straightforward or something. And it's just like, That's what Super Mario Brothers is. Why would you change the formula? Because it makes no sense. I mean, to be honest, nothing in this movie really made sense. It's just like we just have to do this for the sake of the movie and the script we chose. It's just like, and don't think about it. And yeah, I mean, if you're a 3 to 5 year old kid, you'll probably love it. Uh, I mean, it is entertaining. It's cool, and you don't really like, you don't really think about the story. But again, like as an adult, and someone who does movies and someone who grew up with this, like that's how old I am. I'm freaking compared with probably looking at my fucking demographics for my videos. I'm way older than most of the people who actually watch my videos. I just don't look or act my age. So, you know what? Stay young. Don't lose your innocence. It's worth it. You'll be much happier in life. But yeah, like, I was just like, this felt so corporate and soulless. And, ugh. I don't know. It just frustrated me. And I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I mean, it's one of those movies that I'll say it's fine. It's fine. It's not something I'd want to watch again now that I've actually saw it with a clear brain and a sober body. But yeah, I mean, who actually wrote this? Matthew Fogel. What has he done? He's done Silent Retreat. I don't know what that is. So the Lego Movie 2, second part. That was all right. Not as good as the first one, but it was all right. And then Minions: Rise of Gru. I mean, that was fair. And then he did the Super Mario's movie. So I don't know. Again, I wanted to love this movie. And the first time watching, I was kind of prepared to do that. I was about ready to give it an 8. So I'm kind of glad that stuff came in, and I had to watch it a second time, and then I saw it for what in my opinion, what it was, and it's just like, this is just really kind of an average movie that just sort of takes a license and tries to tell its own thing. Like it was more faithful to the source material than the John Leguizamo and John Hopkins Mario live action in '93. I mean, the fact that that's a bar that this is now approaching is kind of sad. Because I mean, that one, as horrible as it was, as terrible to the subject matter as it was, I mean, at least had its moments. And don't get me wrong, that was not a good movie whatsoever. There are some movies that are like good bad. That was just bad, but it did have its moments, and at least it tried to do its own thing. It was really bad. This one I don't think is as bad as that, but good grief, it was. Like, if I were to compare it to a Pixar films, and Pixar's kind of gone downhill lately, I would say it's lower than those, even at the low end. A lot of the, bad ones that have come out lately are still better than I think this one is in terms of storytelling, character development, and stuff. I mean, Mario, he is terrible throughout the entire film. And then at the very end, he's just amazing. And it's just like, all right. And again, the chemistry is just, I just don't feel the chemistry with any of the characters except for Mario and Luigi. And I hate Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. It's just like, why? And he said he doesn't do voices. It's just always Seth Rogen, and it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. Ugh. Anyway, so what do I think of this? God, I was thinking when I first started this giving it a 6. I have to give it a 5 because again, there's just so many faults with it. Again, the animation is gorgeous. The music when it's like the original tracks, modified of course, but you know, that was good. But again, the music is just like, what are you doing with 80s rock in a Mario film? No, no. And the chemistry was terrible, and the story was nonsensical and moved way too quick of pace. I just, and then there's a couple of, after credit scenes, which we'll get into in spoilers. But yeah, this movie, I don't know, it's just not worth it. I don't know if you've seen it once. Yeah, I mean this movie made buku bucks. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a sequel. They haven't mentioned a sequel, at least in writing so far, but they have mentioned spin-offs and actually no. As of this month, Pratt did say a sequel will be announced. So apparently, yeah. I mean, I knew there was this movie made buku bucks. This is the highest uh, earning video game movie that's ever been. It made 1,347,000,000 dollars. So yeah, there was going to be a sequel, and apparently there's going to be spin-offs. And I'm hoping the sequel is better. I'm hoping it turns into one of those where it's just like we had a rough start at first. You made some mistakes, but you learned from them, and you'll do better next time. So that's kind of my hope for that. But yeah, 5 out of 10 on this one. That's going to do it for the review section. And then I'm just going to sort of break it down in the review in the spoiler section. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys then. See ya. Hey guys, it is Rapmark here, back with the spoiler section for the new Super Mario Brothers movie. So I'm just gonna try to make this sucker small, 'cause it's whatever. So two cutscenes. One of them is, at the end, Bowser there's a blue mushroom that shrinks, and he gets shrunk and put into a cookie jar or something, a glass jar, whatever. And he's in a cage. And he's just like, "Hey, do you know who I am?" And then they shut the door on him, and it's just like, yeah. So there's that. And then the second one, it's like, they're in the Mushroom Kingdom, and now they're, I guess, the plumbers for all the toads and stuff like that, or whatever. And so again, at the end, there's this egg. It's a Yoshi egg, and it kind of starts cracking and moving, but you don't really see it. Fades to black, and then you hear Yoshi, because I mean I think Yoshi's like the second most popular character in those games, so I mean it makes sense. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so I mean, obviously, that's how a sequel's gonna be. Uh, but yeah, so there's that. So I mean, I'll say this: I loved again the very beginning. Establishes them as Italian American brothers. They're doing a plumbing business. They're in Brooklyn. And they're kind of bumbling, but yeah. They go to fix a leak, and they get sucked into a warp pipe, and they get separated, which was the worst mistake of this movie because they were the only two characters, again, that had chemistry. So anyway, Luigi gets sent to the like undead realm where there's skeletal Koopas, and then you have the guys in the masks, and yeah, he gets captured, and sent to Bowser. And then of course you know you have the opening scene was amazing. You know, that was the scene you saw in the trailer, and that was the entire scene. So I mean, you already know how that scene goes. It was amazing. It was great, and I was so excited for Bowser and everything. And then they turned it into this weird, creepy, like stalker thing of Bowser and Princess Peach, and she's not even the one he captured. She doesn't even get captured until later in the film in the third act. What the fuck? Anyway. And then, you know, Mario ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom where he meets Toad, which, you know, he did stand out. He was kind of the brave Toad. He tries. He's not very big or whatever, but I think Martin Key, he did a good job on that one. I'll say that. But yeah, he meets Peach, who is running this kingdom. She doesn't know where she's from. He makes mention that, you know, maybe she's from her world, and she's just like, there's a whole galaxy out there. And yeah, so who knows where she's from, but she's apparently awesome at everything. She takes him through this training course. She apparently passed it the first time, and he's just bumbling through it. Like, again, like, he does nothing throughout the film, and it's supposed to be played for laughs, and, like, from what I've read, it, like, you know, people keep playing these games even though they're hard, and you have to keep replaying them, but, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any growth, because he bumbles the entire movie until the very end, where he's fucking awesome. And it's just like, why? You know? And again, so they go to the Donkey Kong Kingdom because, you know, the Penguin Kingdom has fallen. So they go to Donkey Kong Kingdom. Donkey Kong doesn't say anything at first, so I'm just like, all right, maybe. And again, Peach could probably take him on all by herself. Mario's just like, no, I can do this. And it just... all right, dude. And so, yeah, he gets his ass kicked, and that's where you get the one, it's me, Mario. I did laugh at that. That was kind of funny. And, yeah, but then you hear him talk, like, after the fight, and Mario does win, eventually by getting the cat power up. And... yeah, he wins that way. And then after that, you know, like, when you hear Donkey Kong call, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's Seth Rogen. And I just see Seth Rogen. Like, I don't see Donkey Kong. This is not Donkey... why? I don't understand. Like, if you want to get celebrity actors, like, get ones that can do voices. Like, why? This could have been so good, and it was like felt half-assed and heartless because, again, they only used the original voice for Mario as like their father and another Brooklyn native somewhere in there. Why? I don't get it. Anyway, so then after that, they get the army. They go onto the Rainbow Road on their carts to get there faster to prevent the attack. And they get ambushed along the way, and they get their asses kicked. And it's just like, what was even the point of that? So anyway, they all get captured. Mario and Donkey Kong end up in the sea, ocean, whatever, and they get swallowed by an eel. And then there's like this 5-6 minute scene where, you know, they're talking, and it's just like, it's supposed to establish a rapport and chemistry, and I just didn't get any of that. It was just like, this just feels like cringy writing, and they're just not carrying it at all. So anyway, uh, Peach is captured, and Bowser's gonna marry her, and she's just like, "What?" And he's just like, "If you don't, I'll just kill everybody." And it's just like his obsession is just it is a level of cringe where like there I've done cringe. I can do cringe. I mean, I've seen enough horror movies and stuff like there's good cringe and then there's cringe and that was like his obsession with Peach was cringe, like awful cringe. And he's just so jealous because he's just like he's getting to be so powerful. He wants to impress her and just like, "Oh, but everyone likes Mario and he's pretty awesome." But he's not. He's a bumbling idiot. And it's Princess Peach that is literally doing everything. And I'm just like, this movie makes no sense. Anyway. So anyway, they get out of the eel, Donkey Kong and Mario. And Bowser intends to execute all the prisoners anyway, in Peach's honor, which, again, they just dove so deep into that, and it didn't work. Like, if it was lighthearted and funny, I probably could have gotten more behind it, but man, they took the deep dive, and like I said, it just went full cringe. You know, and if you've ever seen, oh God, I forgot what it is, that has Jack Black, Ben Stiller and all that, where it's just like, you went full retard. Don't go full retard. Yeah, don't go full cringe. Don't do it. It's bad. And that's exactly what they did with that whole relationship. So anyway, Toad gets an ice flower into Peach's bouquet, you know, and then she freezes Bowser and a lot of other people. And then Mario uses the Tanuki power-up, which is an awesome power-up. I love that in the games. And he saves Luigi, and then they're reunited, and it's just like, good grief. So Bowser frees himself, and he has the big-ass bullet, sends him out, and he's going to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario does manage to knock it off course, but he directs it into the warp pipe, you know, to New York. Why? Because the writers have deemed it so. Because I couldn't give you a good reason at all for that. Anyway, it blows up, and now both worlds are kind of sucked into each other. And now Bowser's castle is in Brooklyn. And in the fight, Mario and Luigi manage to grab the superstar. Mario becomes... and all the Koopas are, you know, knocked down. Bowser gets his freaking butt kicked. And then Peach shrinks Bowser and imprisons him. And Mario and Luigi are hailed as heroes. And then they move to a house in the Mushroom Kingdom and begin... Yeah, and that's, you know, essentially the whole second cutscene. So yeah, there's the Mario movie. Short, sweet, and to the point. Anyway, this was very average, very soulless. It wasn't bad. It just, I wanted to like it way more, and they made so many mistakes that just were just like, I don't regret, well, I do regret seeing it because, again, my expectations were higher. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't hate this film. It just feels like such a cash grab. And it was. It made a shit ton of money. That didn't really do the respect to the franchise that it should have. So anyway, that is my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. See ya.